This is the hand. This is the last video of Unit 1. So we're going to point out a couple things we already know. We can see our palmaris longus tendon coming up to our flexor retinaculum here, the palmar aponeurosis. We can see the muscles underneath. This on our ulnar side, this is going to be the ulnar artery and nerve. Over here we have our radial artery. We do not see median nerve because that is going through, nope, don't see it at the bottom. That is going through the carpal tunnel. So this hand is a right hand. We see over here on the thumb, we see 3 muscles in the thenar eminence. Over here we see 3 muscles on the hypothenar side. On the thenar side, the first one we see is our abductor pollicis brevis. If we look deep to that, we see flexor pollicis brevis. And our third muscle here is our opponens pollicis. We go over to the other side, we find the exact same pattern. We have our AB, abductor digiti minimi, because remember the farthest muscle out always abducts. Deep to that we have our flexor digiti minimi. And then the one closest in the center here is going to be our opponens digiti minimi. If we're going to disregard these for a moment, we'll come back to these. If we look in the center, we see this muscle here, ADD ducts, the thumb. This is our adductor pollicis. The reason I'm mentioning these a little bit out of order is this is a very clever mnemonic for remembering the order of these. We have abductor, flexor, opponens, ADD ductor. On this side, opponens, flexor, and adductor. The mnemonic is all for one and one for all. And you can do it in either direction. The farthest 2 out are always going to be your AB abductors. The deeper ones under here are going to be your flexors. And the ones that are the farthest in here, forming that loop, and right on the edge here are going to be your opponents. The central one will be your ADD adductor. And then whether it's pollicis or digiti minimi, you look at the finger that it's going to. Pollicis being the thumb, digiti minimi being the pinky. Okay. Let's go back and look at the muscles that we ignored just a minute ago. Do you see the tendons that I have here coming up? These tendons, these 4 tendons here that come up, and if you follow this up, do you see how they split? And they're going to insert on the base of the middle phalanx. This is the tendon of my flexor digitorum superficialis. And between them and deep, coming through to the base of the distal phalanx, is going to be my flexor digitorum profundus. The reason I point these muscles, or these tendons out, is if you look next to it on either side, right here on the side, you see 1, 2, 3, 4 little worm-like muscles next to these tendons. These muscles are called lumbricals. The lumbricals, you can see them here, and then if you turn it around, you can see them very well on the posterior side. Can you see that? Okay. So what the lumbricals do, I'm going to show you on my hand, is they are going to flex the metacarpal phalangeal joint like this, and they are going to extend the proximal interphalangeal joint and the distal interphalangeal joint, sometimes called pip and dip, and it allows you to do this with your hand. I don't know why you would want to do that other than to demonstrate the lumbricals in action. So we have flexion of the metacarpal phalangeal joint, MCP, an extension of pip and dip, proximal interphalangeal and distal interphalangeal. Now if we go back to the hand, the deepest layer in here are going to be our pad and dab muscles. These are your interossei muscles. Interossei means between bones. Pad refers to the fact that you have 3 palmar interossei muscles that adduct your fingers, and 4 dorsal interossei muscles that abduct your fingers. So pad, palmar, adduct, and dab, dorsal, abduct. This actually makes logical sense, and I'll show you this on my hand. The central finger here, maximus, is the center line of the hand. We have 1, 2, 3 muscles that can, actually 4 muscles that can abduct. We can pull this one away from the center line, this can go away from the center line, this goes away, this goes away, and this actually can go in either direction away from the center line. So we have 4 ways that our muscles can abduct. Then if we're coming toward the center line, if this is the center line, we only have 1, 2, 3 ways for our muscles to adduct. So we have 3 muscles that will adduct. So you have 3 palmar adductors and 4 dorsal abductors. All right, let's go back to the model for a minute. I'm going to pull my lumbricals aside. I'm going to turn the hand over on the back. For the most part, we cannot see our pad and dab, but here, coming off the thumb, the first dorsal interossei is very visible both on the model and on the cadaver. So this is one that you cannot miss, the first dorsal interossei right here. Okay. So just for a quick review, we have our ADD, adductor pollicis here. We have our lumbricals, 1, 2, 3, and 4 lumbricals. We have our abductor pollicis brevis, flexor pollicis brevis, opponens pollicis here. On this side we have abductor digiti minimi, flexor digiti minimi, and opponens digiti minimi. A quick note on innervation of the hand. The hand is primarily innervated by ulnar nerve with 3.5 exceptions. It sounds like a lot, but it's really easy to remember. The 3 exceptions are the thenar muscles, abductor pollicis brevis, flexor pollicis brevis, and opponens pollicis, which are all innervated by a branch of the median nerve. And the half exception would be the first and second lumbrical, which are also innervated by the median nerve. Everything else in the hand is innervated by the ulnar nerve. So it's ulnar nerve with 3, that's the thenar muscles, and a half, that is the first 2 lumbricals, which are median. Those are our exceptional muscles.